Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is a viewer requested deep dive, and this is a very special car. This is VIN 3257. What's so special about that? This is a 2020 paint code 083, which is ultra white, white with gold flake, with LA03 interior, which is the black and white interior that was only offered on the 2020 models in the US. This is the last GSF ever produced outside of Japan. There may be one that's after that. Japan has a different VIN sequence, but this is the last one produced for the rest of the world. For the US 49, for North America, this is the last GSF. It is also the last four-door true F car that was ever produced. So you have the IS 500 F Sport, but this is it. This is the end. This is the last one ever produced. It's a very special car. So the owner, he is in Arizona. He's a subscriber to this channel, and I'm not mentioning his name for privacy reasons, but he wanted me to do a deep dive on this. And so you get to learn a little bit about the history of it. And you know, this is a good data point for the spreadsheet, for the channel, for everything else. So as I said, this is a 2020 in Arizona with 48,000 miles. So we'll go ahead and go through the rest of it and see what we have here. So as far as the production statistics go, 648 out of the 2,347 for the US, 49 everywhere except Hawaii were ultra white. It's a very common color, but as far as that specific interior, the LA03, there are only 9 that had this. And overall, there's only 43 cars for all of 2020 that had this interior. So very rare, 0.38%. So 0.38% of all of the US cars in this had this combo. So it is like a 10 out of 10 for rarity. And of course, it's the last one ever made. 2020, 60 out of the 187 cars were ultra white. And of those, again, 9 had LA03, this black and white interior. So there was a black and white, or it was like a white and black interior that was offered in other markets outside of the USA that it looks similar to this, but it's different. Instead of it having more black than white, it has more white than black. It's a little bit different pattern, but the US and North America, it was never offered. Carfax, Epic VIN, and AutoCheck. Carfax shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. It first started its life in Michigan. Epic VIN shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. And AutoCheck also shows this as a 2-owner, no accident car. So I think it is safe to assume this is a 2-owner, no accident car. Previous sales. So this car first went on sale September 22nd of 2020 for $89,000, and it sold the same day. As the production started to end on these cars, the last of them sold very quickly, and this is no exception. It was sold as a personal lease in Michigan, and then it was up for sale about a year later, L certified for, I'm not sure how much, it doesn't show. Of course, the owner would know, but 17,500 miles at the same dealer, Lexus dealer in Michigan, that sold it new. At that point, it sold in about a month, sold January 5th, 2022, so around a month for sale, to the current owner in Arizona where this car still resides. So the current owner has owned this car for a little over 4 years now. So now onto the photos. The owner sent me a ton of very high quality, great photos, and it looks phenomenal. The outside has no chips. Maybe it has a few paint swirls. You know, it could use a polishing or something like that, but that's something that's easily resolved. But the front end, it looks like it has paint protection film on it, and it looks nearly flawless. For a car that has almost 50,000 miles, it looks in outstanding condition. The carbon fiber trim on the interior, I don't see where it's delaminating, anything like that. The 2020s are not exempt from that. However, being in a warm climate, it's probably not gonna do it as quickly as being up north in a cold climate. The seats and the touch points, everything just looks absolutely fantastic. You can tell it's been well taken care of, and that the white on the white and black interior, it sort of reminds me of like a Rolex Daytona Panda. I don't know, for those of you in the watch world, it's kind of a white and black and white and silver type of combination. Kind of reminds me of that. Don't know why my brain went there, but it is what it is. Really, all I have to say about the pictures is it looks phenomenal, and I'm glad to see that it's being taken care of. It is a very special car. And the owner, he is a Lexus enthusiast. He sent me a photo of some other cars he owns. He has an IS, he has an LC500. So this is not his first rodeo, as you can tell. As one enthusiast to another, I tip my hat to you. It is fantastic collection, and you have a very special car. Now onto the service history. So not only is this car well dealer serviced, it looks to be exclusively dealer serviced. So that's even better for something like this. So the first injury of note is September of 2021. Looks like there was some curb rash that was repaired. Pretty common to see on these cars. December of 2021, 17,500 miles. The front rotors were replaced as part of the certified pre-owned prep. Also in December of 2021, the left rear was noted as having a clunk, and the front lower grille surround was noted as not fitting properly. And I'm not sure if they're talking about the actual grille surround or the front lower vent that's also a grille. Those are known to be pushed in very easily. They don't sit well, and Lexus never updated that part. So this car has the problem too, and I see that pretty frequently in the service histories. And then in that same service, they also installed the paint protection film, maybe redid some of it or installed it new, and they installed window tint. March of 2022, the sunroof assembly was replaced under warranty, and that's about a 5-hour job, five-hour flag job. Probably takes a little bit longer than that, but you have to drop the headliner, take everything out, replace it, realign everything, put it all back in. That part seems to be a common issue on these cars, but generally it's just the sunroof seal. But if it binds, things like that, then you have to replace the whole assembly. That's a very expensive piece and service to do outside of warranty, but it was still under warranty here. And it looks like they also repaired the PPF that was peeling on corners, and they fixed a small rattle that was on the interior. April of 2022, 19,500 miles, so 2,000 miles later, the front rotors had a little shimmy in them, so they went ahead and replaced the rotors and pads on the front again. October of 2022, the windshield was replaced, and the camera, forward-facing collision camera, was recalibrated, along with a note about the rear spoiler that's discolored or maybe delaminating, something like that. And that becomes an issue because that part is like $4,000, but it looks like nothing was done there. October of 2023, the OEM dash cam was installed. That's cool to see. Lexus, for those of you that don't know, Lexus offered basically a replacement for underneath the mirror, kind of like what a fit cam does now, that it's basically an OEM dash cam. So pretty cool to see. You don't see a lot of cars that have that installed, but this one has that. At that same service, they flushed the brake fluid. Another note about the PPF was lifting on some corners. They'll reschedule. And a quote on the front grille carbon fiber to respray it or re-clear it. So that would probably mean that it originally didn't have PPF on that front piece. That's kind of how this happened with my orange car too. My orange car had PPF since new, but that front carbon fiber piece did not have a piece on it. And so the previous owner of my car, he just put vinyl wrap over it that kind of looked like carbon fiber. I wanted to do it right, so I replaced it or had it refinished at SMA Fabrication, and then I put PPF on top of it, so it'll be protected. March of 2023, Lexus inspected the rear spoiler, so like it was officially inspected, and they agreed to go ahead and order the part for them. April of 2023 is when they Goodwill replaced that for the owner. So that's good to see. That's like a $4,000+ part, plus all the little trim clips and seals and everything like that, and the labor to remove the old one, clean it, and reinstall the new one. So very expensive to have that done. And there was also another note about the PPF peeling up again. So looks like that was probably addressed there. September of 2023, 33,000 miles, 2 rear tires. January of 2024, 36,000 miles, a new battery, and a note about the right front shock leaking, and it was replaced along with another interior rattle. So right front shock leaking. The factory shocks from the 17s through 20s had a defective internal oil seal, and the part wasn't updated until like late 2021 or early 2022. So this being in 2024, it should have the latest part, so you shouldn't have any other issues with it leaking until they fail, once they get some mileage and some age on them. April of 2024 at 38,000 miles, both rear shocks were now noted as leaking, and they replaced both of those along with the passenger front seat blower. So the ventilated seat, looks like there was a rattle or something coming from it or something defective, but it was replaced there. June of 2024, 40,000 miles, rear pads and rotors. And September of 2024, 41,500 miles, the left front shock was replaced and for leaking, and 2 rear tires again. So that now means all 4 shocks have been replaced on this car. Again, pretty common to see, and nothing alarming or anything about that. March of 2025, 44,000 miles. The battery was replaced under warranty. It failed early, and a rattle noted from the driver's seat, but nothing was done about it. And the last service, May of 2025, 44,000 miles, new PPF, new paint protection film on the hood, front carbon fiber piece, and the rear spoiler. So good to see that being done. So what's not done on this car? These cars really didn't have a lot of the customer service programs that a lot of the earlier cars did. So this car is not affected by the ZLZ, which is the sticky dash. This doesn't have it. Low pressure fuel pump, making noise, humming, buzzing. This doesn't have that. It doesn't have the JLB recall that came out in about 2018. This isn't affected by that either. The only other thing that that still affects these cars is the carbon fiber trim. 16s through 20s, they're all affected by it. And it's usually cold temperatures that make it happen faster. So that can happen in like Arizona if you have the air conditioning set on max and it's blowing on the carbon fiber. That can cause it to happen too, but it's generally cold climate cars that are more affected by this. And then I guess the only other thing that kind of affects all of them is the HVAC servo motors. If you're driving this car, you'd make sure it's fully up to temperature. You'd set one side to max hot, one side to max cold. You cycle through everything and then you switch. And if any of them don't respond, there is a program update. It's called an HVAC servo sweep. It's called a 20LE01, I believe is the name of it. And Lexus will reprogram the servos. If it still does it, then you have to replace some of those, and that requires the dash to be removed in order to replace some of them, not all of them. Some of them you can just take the glove box out, replace them on that side, but there are some that are right behind the stereo, and the dash has to come out in order to get to those. But the only other thing I'm seeing that probably would be due soon would be front brakes. The front brakes were last replaced around 20,000 miles. So this car having almost 50, that means it's got 28,000+ miles on them. 20 to 30,000 is kind of what you expect out of the front brakes. 40 to 50 on the rear. Looks like the rears got replaced at 40, so it would be just front brakes is all I would see. Maybe the front lower control arm bushings, that'd be something to pay attention to. This car, it's not that old yet, so I wouldn't expect to see any cracking or anything on the front lower control arm bushings. But 40,000, 48,000, 50,000 miles, I don't suspect there would be any issues yet. But if you start seeing wear on the insides of your front tires, that would probably be the culprit. Later on, this car will obviously have the valley plate issue, but this car is still way too new for that. I wouldn't expect to see anything like that for several years from now, so no worries there. So as far as the price goes, this one's a weird one because of what it is. However, let's just, for all intents and purposes right now, let's just say it's a standard 2020 white with this black and white interior with 50,000 miles, 48,000 miles. This would be around $64,000 to $66,000, and if it was certified pre-owned, it would probably be $68,000 or so. Add a few thousand for certified pre-owned. Now, the original Lexus warranty, you can extend it all the way out to 8 years, so it's six plus 2, and that's the max you would get. So this car could technically still be under the original certified pre-owned warranty if that's what the owner had purchased, if you bought the max warranty. So that aside, this car being what it is, it's a very special car. It's the last one ever produced. The price, first off, you would talk to this guy right here. But if that doesn't happen, then in all seriousness, this car probably would be best fitted for Bring a Trailer. That's where these cars bring the better money. Cars and Bids bring some pretty strong money too, but these cars really shine on Bring a Trailer for the right ones. And the problem with the ones that have been listed on Bring a Trailer, save and except for a couple, they've always had some kind of history. They've had some weird stains, they've had accidents, they've had some, 5 or 6 owners. But a car like this, that is the place for this if you ever decide to sell it, in my opinion. And it's worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. Would it be 6 figures? It depends. There is a place for people that collect cars like this, and this being something like that, the very last one. Now, I came from the Z32 300ZX world, and I've still got the tattoo and everything, and that was 20 something years of my life in that world. And so I got to see the last 1996 Z32 300ZX. The last 300 that they made of that car, there was a special emblem on each of those. And of course, that's a little different world because there's 89,000 of those that were produced. There's only 2,300 of these, or 4,800 worldwide. So even rarer, but those last few still got driven, kind of like this. It wasn't put in a museum and put up. The very last one was, but that was advertised and it was in the media. So that's a different story, but like the second to last one, that was the last one for people to buy. And so this car, you know, it wasn't a Lexus-owned car. It wasn't a driving school car. It was just a regular car. It's well optioned. It has the heads-up display. It has the Mark Levinson. It's desirable. It has all of the things that you would normally get on these cars. And so options-wise, there's nothing detracting from it there. But demand-wise, there's only a few 2020s. And there's even fewer that have the black and white interior. And there's only one that is the last car, and that is this car. So it is a very special car. I hope that the owner holds on to it for a long time. You have a very special piece of F-car history. And if it does come up for sale, I hope to see it on Bring a Trailer if that's where you decide to sell it. By all means, hold on to it as long as you can, but I'm glad to see that it's getting enjoyed and it's an enthusiast owned. It's not, you know, just somebody it's their daily driver. It is a special car. So I feel like I'm rambling on about it, but you know, I can't emphasize enough how special this car is. You know, if it's not the first one, it's the last one. This is the last one. There may be one that's made after this, but in Japan. And so, you know, these cars were made there. There may be the last one in a Toyota museum or a Lexus museum or sitting at the factory, something like that. But this is the last one for the rest of the world and the US. It was made on July 29th, 2020. The last ones that I have in Japan were all made in June of 2020. So that also kind of makes me think that this probably is the real last GSF that is produced and is made for the world. So that's what I've got. Thanks again for watching, and congratulations again to the owner of this car. Very special car. Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.